Hi, my name is Ryan Hellman. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background and my experience as a teacher. I grew up about an hour outside of Philadelphia, and when I was 13, my family and I moved to Tucson, Arizona. I've been working with kids since I was 15. I started out as a Sunday school teacher in my church, and then I got a job working with the YMCA in an after-school program for elementary school students. I also worked several years with Johns Hopkins CTY, and in 2006 I graduated from the University of Arizona. I majored in creative writing and minored in computer science. After that I traveled around a bit and I ended up in Korea teaching English. And in my first year I realized that I definitely wanted to be a teacher. After 2 years teaching English in Korea, I followed my wife out to Dubai and I got a job with Universal American School. I did my practicum there and got my secondary English teaching certificate, and about the same time I got my CELTA. At UAS, I started out as an English teacher. I taught 7th and 8th grade English, and my second year I taught 7th, 8th, and 9th grade English. And my last 2 years there, I was an ELL teacher. I also coached under 14 boys basketball for 4 years, and I also did a year of badminton and a year of volleyball. I'm going to talk a little bit about my strengths as a teacher. For me, kids are my first priority. I never cared much about climbing the ladder because I never want to leave the classroom. I love the content that I teach, and I love the relationships that I can build with my fellow teachers, but at the end of the day, taking care of the kids is more important than anything else in my mind. Another thing that's really important to me is how I view the kids. To me, students are humans. They're not inferior, they're not to be talked down to, they're just at a different stage in life. You try to meet them where they're at, and you try to help them get to where they're going. They're a human being with interests and goals and hopes. And at the same time, I try to make sure that they treat me as a human too, not just somebody filling an authority figure role. Too often we treat each other as the roles that we play, and not as the individuals that we truly are. This is very powerful. It's not just for helping students gain interest in what I'm teaching, but also for behavior management. I never have to yell or scream in my class, and I rarely have serious behavior problems. In UAS, learning support used to pack my class with the kids who were really tough to deal with. And it's not because they hated me, but they knew that I could care for them and that I would be able to handle them. Lastly, I strive to make what I'm teaching enjoyable. I think first of all, it comes from knowing the subject. And since I was very young, I've always loved reading and telling stories, and that's why I got a creative writing degree. I love crafting a good story and understanding how others do it. Also, another component to that is that I love technology, and it really helps the classroom liven up. I use Quizlet for vocabulary, and Blogger and Twine for helping students get interested in writing, and I think they're great tools. I'm going to talk about my weaknesses now, but I'd like to add one more point. I'm not scared of my weaknesses. I'm not scared of the deficits in my knowledge. If I don't know something, I'm not afraid to ask somebody how to do it. And it doesn't make me feel stupid or anything like that. I think it's just part of learning. As far as my weaknesses go, I rarely have problems with colleagues, but when I do, it really eats me up inside. In my third year at UAS, I got on the bad side of a teacher, and it was a very difficult year for me. For me, dealing with students, if there's conflicts with students, it's not a problem, but with adults, it's just something that's really tough for me to deal with. In that situation, I learned a lot about myself and how to prevent and handle similar situations, and hopefully I don't plan on it happening again, but if it does, I'll definitely be able to deal with it better. Another one of my weaknesses is that I'm not the most efficient multitasker. I can focus really well on 1 or 2 or 3 tasks, but if I've got 20 or 30 things on my to-do list, it's very hard for me to prioritize. My first year at UAS, or actually my first 2 years, were pretty rough. I would often go home at 8 or 9 or 10 in the evening. It got better as time went on, and I found a lot of ways to be more efficient, and it's still something I want to improve on. I've been using Google Calendar lately to help me manage my schedule, and I've also found Todoist, and I plan on using that in the future as well. And that's it. Thanks for taking the time to get to know me. If you'd like to talk over Skype, just email me. I live in Busan, so I'm also willing to come and meet with you personally. It'll give you a chance to get to know me better, and it will give me a chance to look around and hopefully understand more about your school. I hope to talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.